Hello everybody and welcome to another ASCA iRacing series race. We've just finished up with qualifying and we had a pretty wild set of things, and so we'll get into it real soon. Last race was Las Vegas, and this will be the last race on the West Coast for the next few races for the series, but we will be, I believe, coming back towards the end of the season, and I don't believe I have Phoenix set as the last race. I have to check the schedule, but let me look here. So after Auto Club, oh wait, no, we have Laguna Seca. That is the last race here on the West Coast for a good bit. No, that is just the last race on the West Coast. You get all of your West Coast races at the start of the season, so looking back at things, we will get into the starting lineup. And we will start from the back going forward. Starting in the 36th position is going to be the number 64 of Jake Rogers. To his inside is going to be the number 44 of Kelly Lee. Starting 34th is going to be the 334 of Bob Schwepka. And the number 1 of Nicholas Samudio starts 33rd. Starting 32nd is the 001 of Ricky Dixon. And to his inside and 31st is the 29 of Allison Rhodes. Rick Witt's going to start 30th to the outside on the 15th row, and to his inside is Gatlin Downey in the 35. Starting in the 28th position is the 13 of Tanya Breyer. To her inside, and 27th is Cody Gump. Zach Staines starts 26th, and to his inside is going to be the 31 of Sam Verbeek. Mitchell Henderson in the 88 starts 24th. 23rd is going to be the 51 of Kyung-hee Lee. Xavier Carlson in the 888 starts 22nd. And outside of the top 20, starting in 21st, is the 01 of Emma Bays. And now for your top 20. The number 45 Brandt Agriculture Toyota is going to be starting 20th. That is Cesar Chavez. And to his inside, in the Racers for Christ number 77 Toyota, that is Mikhail Latoris. In 18th position, starting in the Wrangler number 4 Chevrolet, that is going to be Eric Monaco. To his inside, in the MRN number 89 Toyota, that is Greg Shivers. In the Nationwide number 23 Ford Mustang, that is going to be Stuart Gratton in 16th position. And starting in 15th is going to be the Yokohama number 2 Ford Mustang of Jay Barker. Starting in 14th in the Simability number 85 Chevrolet, that is Alex Tanker. And to his inside in the Hellman's Mayonnaise number 25 Chevrolet Camaro, that is Chris Malley. Starting in the 12th position in the DOF Realty number 26 Toyota, that is going to be Daniel Voiles. And to his inside in the 11th position, the Matco Tools number 40 is Austin Jakes. The number 30 unsponsored Toyota of Sam Deep Singh will start 10th. To his inside, the number 99 Engine Ice Ford Mustang is going to be Ryan Reed, and that's the 9th starter. Isaac Nichols in the iRacing number 22 Chevrolet Camaro is going to start 8th, and to his inside is the Apex Sim Racing number 27 Ford Mustang of Brandon Benton 7th. Starting 6th in the number 73 Suave, I believe that's Suave Men Ford Mustang. That is going to be Andrea Martinez and her teammate. And the number 72 Dirt Vision Ford Mustang, going to start inside of row number 3. That is your 5th starter. And now for starter number 4 in the Podium Esports number 10 Ford Mustang, Juan Garcia in starting 4th position. Driving the unsponsored number 03 car Ford Mustang, starting 3rd is Arian Azad. And now for your front row, the number 15 Ford Motor Company Ford Mustang, that is Jacob Stavanoa on 2nd, and then finally your pole sitter in the Exalta car coverings, number 66 Ford Mustang, that is Matthew Proctor. Cars stepping off here. out of the pit lane, and we are getting set to go for 70 laps here at the Auto Club Speedway. One of the shorter races on the schedule as far as the time it'll probably take to finish. And Matthew Proctor, your pole sitter. A lot of Fords up at the front here. Top 7 is Ford Mustangs, so Ford is seemingly having a good run of it here at the Auto Club Speedway. As we get ready to go here, .36 cars making their way out of turn number 4 here at the Auto Club Speedway under the lights, and we are ready to get things going. Pace picks up. Matthew Proctor in the 66 will take the green flag, and we are underway. And a good jump from Proctor in that 66 machine as they head into turn 1. Going to be all over the racetrack here, and it'll be an interesting sight to see once everything starts flaring out a little bit. However, Matthew Proctor looks to be pretty much on par, running a pretty good pace at the moment. Stavinoa trying to get to the inside of Arian Azad. We're almost 3 wide back there with Isaac Nichols, Brandon Bent, and Andrea Martinez. Martinez able to get the run up higher towards the wall. And I don't know if we're going to see any drivers try to run the wall line, at least not in the early stages. I'd like to see it later on. You can see Chris Malley is all the way up to the wall. Stavinoa is starting to lose a little bit of time here as he's fighting with Juan Garcia. Running up one lane off the wall there, and he's going to get a lot of momentum on that high side. High line seems to be working for some people, not so much for others. Look back. Ryan Ream and Andrea Martinez fighting over position here. Doesn't seem like anyone is diving to the inside line just yet, but you can probably think tires are going to be a big factor. These tracks usually end up being fuel mileage races most of the time, depending on how long the race is. And look back, Stavinoa taking to the inside lane, trying to get by Arian Azad again. Juan Garcia defending his position from the 72 of Trace Howard, the winner from Las Vegas. Much of a commentary on the Las Vegas race, I'll give you that. I was not into it at all. I think I let the camera basically run itself on that one. Go back forward here, trying to see whether Jacob Stavinoa is trying to make another run at it. Garcia, however, is losing another spot. Trace Howard. Brandon Bent looking to maybe hold off that run that the 22 of Isaac Nichols has. Nichols to the inside of Trace Howard, and it looks like, well, not quite, but it looked like he was about to clear him going down the backstretch. This is a battle for the 6th position on track right now. And it does not seem to be ending here. As we look forward here, Jacob Stavinoa has dispatched Arian Azad. He's been able to get by the 2nd place car. looks like he likes that high line. You can see Matthew Proctor not far ahead, likes that inside a little bit more often. And that seems to be the preferred line for Stavanoa, or Proctor, I mean. Going down about a lane off the bottom. Stavanoa was running about a lane from the top. He's now running about in the middle of the racetrack. Isaac Nichols is the only Chevrolet in the top 10 right now. And out of all of the top 10, only 2 cars so far are not Ford Mustangs. So Ford obviously getting a pretty good run of it. A lot of drivers really enjoying this track in the Ford camp. Look back up at the front. Arian Azad has started to catch the back end of Jacob Stavanoa, but he has not been able to make the same gains on the leader of Matthew Proctor, but he's slowly catching. Looks to be turns 1 and 2 where Stavanoa is kind of losing some ground. Juan Garcia is starting to close in on the back of Arian Azad. But things have started to sort of spread out now. Austin Jakes in the number 40. Doing everything he can to try and get a few more positions and also not drop out of the top 10. Liking that bottom lane a little bit. First car outside the top 10 is the 30th Sandy Singh, and then you see a lot more Fords behind them. Stuart Gratton in the 23, and then you can see there's Jay Barker in the 2 car. Chris Malley in the 25 machine. That's kind of back where all the rest of the Chevys are. But really, the main battle that's been going pretty much since the outset of the race has been for second. Stavanoa liking that high line, but it just does not seem to have the distance. It doesn't seem to have the pace. He's able to stay in front of Azad by using that high line, but now Azad might have some issues with the 10 of Juan Garcia coming in from behind. So Juan Garcia looking to the inside of the 03 machine. Laps into this one so far. Looking like the race is going to last not even an hour. About 50 minutes worth of racing time is what they're suggesting. Matthew Proctor currently running about as fast as he has been all night long. Brandon Benton and Ryan Reed battling over the 7th position. Ryan Reed riding that rim up on the top side, but it doesn't seem like it's doing much for him. Isaac Nichols has moved into the top 5, however. He's taken the position away from Trace Howard. Meanwhile, Juan Garcia in the 10 car started moving through the field as well. Garcia's made his way up to the 3rd spot on track right now. And Proctor is definitely setting the pace of the race so far. Everyone kind of liking that high line, but it seems like Proctor has been able to keep his car kind of stuck to that low line. That's kind of been where he's been fast all race long. Stavino is going to lose another spot. Juan Garcia has moved up into the second position. So Juan Garcia is making some headway here. 43.074 as the fastest lap of the drivers up here at the top. Second fastest being Isaac Nichols with 43.140. He's kind of rim riding up there. But it seems like the leaders have kind of been running either at the top, or the faster cars have kind of been running the bottom. Some guys are starting to look at it, seeing whether or not that'll be a viable option for them in the next next few laps of the race, as tires begin to start wearing out. And it looks like Proctor has started to lose a little bit of time. Could be some tire wear on that 66 that they maybe weren't expecting. Definitely something to look out for if you are to 66 and after Proctor. Pit window is most likely going to be around lap 40 or lap 50, so we'll get about a 20 lap run to the finish. 20 to 30 lap run to the finish. Juan Garcia is slowly but steadily closing that gap on Matthew Proctor. It's gone a little below 1.5 seconds. Now he's brought it down, and within a lap about 1 second between him and the back end of the 66, so we might have a battle for the lead, and eventually the next couple of laps here. We look back to the back of the top 10. We're watching the battle for the lead in the next few laps. Couple of close battles on track right now as Stavinoa is in trouble. The 03 of Arian Azad looking to his inside. And it looks like Arian Azad is going to take that position away. Stavinoa either trying to save tires or just doesn't have the same kind of pace that the other two guys in front of him have had. We have seen Juan Garcia starting to lose a little bit of time on the 66 of Proctor. Stavinoa and Azad still going at it. It just doesn't look like Stavinoa. It looks like the car might be a little bit tight, and that could be something that he might have to remedy come the pit stop. There's one chance to come in and adjust the car, but you got to work with what you got right now. looking at things here, Ryan Reed and Andre Martinez battling for position. That's for the 8th position. And Ryan Reed will take the spot away. As we look back forward here, Stavinoa and Azad still going at it. Both of those drivers definitely don't want to give up any ground right now. Stavinoa trying to get back into the 3rd position, but it's just been a bit of a slog trying to keep that bottom side held down. As you can see, lap traffic ahead. That is Jake Rogers and Kelly Lee. That seems to have maybe slowed up the 66 a little bit. Might have a battle here, as Juan Garcia is capable of pulling to the back of the 66 car after he's gotten held up a couple of times going through lap traffic. Juan Garcia now on the back bumper of your leader. A battle for the lead within the slower traffic here. Proctor going to take it to the inside here. Really easily get by the 001 of Ricky Dixon. Ricky Dixon. However, that allowed Juan Garcia to really pick up some time on the back end of Proctor. And now we're going to get a battle for the lead here potentially, as Garcia looked like he had a run coming off the corner there, or into the corner there, but it doesn't look like he was able to come off the corner as well. As the 35 of Gatlin down, he kind of got in the way of him trying to drift back up towards the wall. Didn't give him enough exit time. However, he's got a good run off of turn 4. Heading down the front stretch, a battle for the lead now between the 10 and the 66. 10 car to the inside, 66 stuck on the outside. His preferred line would probably be to the inside, but we've got a good battle going here. Proctor able to hold off Juan Garcia's charge on that outside lane, but he's not done yet. Garcia had a massive run off of turn 4 last time. He's going to see whether or not he can pull that same move off again. 3 and 4 seems to be where he's doing the best job so far, but it looked like he got a little bit squirrely coming off the corner there, and lost a couple of tenths on Proctor, and has now fallen back a little bit further. So the top 2 drivers so far making a battle for the lead work right now, as Proctor tries to put Bob Schwepke in between him and Juan Garcia. But that might have actually helped Juan Garcia, as he's got a little bit further, down to the inside. Try to take away some more time off the corner, but I don't know if that did really much of anything. Juan Garcia looks like he's going to try to pull some of the draft off of him and Proctor and Witt. Witt not going to put up much of a fight. He's just going to let the 10 car go. Look back here though, Arian Azad and Jacob Stavinoa have kind of fallen off the rest of the 2 cars in front of them. In certain cars there's not been much fighting, but right now Andrea Martinez and Ryan Reed have had some pretty good runs of it so far. Pretty much been nose to tail for the last 5 or 6 laps so far. Garcia started to lose a lot of time on the 66 of Matthew Proctor. He started to gain back a lot of that ground that he kind of gave up in the early bit of going through the slower traffic here, but it looks like he has gotten himself back up to a good gap between him and Garcia. There's a single straightaway that kind of helped Proctor get back to where he's at now. Looking like he is starting to slow up a little bit. He's gotten a little bit back on the gap there between him and Proctor, but it looks like Proctor just is setting a pretty good pace right now. Meanwhile, behind him, Azad has definitely pulled a pretty good gap over Stavinoa and has put 2 lap cars in between both of them. Stavinoa just cannot hold the bottom. He says the car gets really tight going on the inside lane. He can run the outside fairly well, but it just doesn't have the same pace that the inside lane seems to have right now, and he's had some trouble getting to that inside lane and holding his speed compared to some of the other drivers like Adrian Azad, as well as Juan Garcia and Matthew Proctor. Probably the closest battle on track so far, within the top 10. Andre Martinez and Brandon Bent. The 27 of Bent certainly has had an up and down year. Ended up getting wrecked out. I don't know if he wrecked out, but he definitely got wrecked when he was having a good run of it in one of the last few races. I believe it might have been Daytona. And he just could not recover from that afterwards. Had a pretty good run of it here right now, though. But Andre Martinez is slowly gaining on him. We could put him down in the 8th position. Alex Tanker in the 85 is at has also had a pretty interesting run of it so far. I believe he was in midfield at the start of the race, but now he's moved up to 11th position, but he's got a long way to go to get to the next car ahead of him, which is the 40 of Austin Jakes. Austin Jakes, who's about 3 seconds ahead. He's going to be a tough ask for Alex Tanker to get into the top 10, but he looks like he's got a pretty good chance of doing so. Had a couple of early struggles. Had a couple of struggles early on in the 85 machine, but has figured some things out, it seems. In the last couple of races. He's still pretty far down on the points, but after a while it'll be a bit easier for him to make up the difference, I think. He has some pretty decent races. I think he'll be able to fairly quickly move up the order. He'll be able to move up in the points a little bit more, but as of right now, he's still got a long way to go. Much really happening at this point. There's a couple of close battles, I believe. Andre Martinez and Brandon Bent are still pretty much nose to tail with each other, but no one's been able to get close enough to actually make a move on one another. This is kind of how these races tend to start shaking up, though. Alex Tanker looked like he was gaining a little bit on Austin Jakes, but I believe that last lapped car of Rick Witt kind of screwed things up a little bit. However, he started to gain back some time. About 3.3 seconds on the gap between him and Austin Jakes, but he seemed to close that back down again to about 3 seconds. Definitely has a much better entry, but I think his exit's not as good, because that seems to be where he's losing a lot of time in comparison to Austin Jakes in that 40 car. Easily able to slip by Schwepke. And he's got a long way to go to get into that top 10. Jay Barker and Sandeep Singh battling around Rick Witt. And Rick Witt's going to kind of almost force Sandeep up to the wall line. Barker going to have a good run of it down the backstretch, and this is your battle for 11th position. Not far behind him, though, is Eric Monaco in the 4 car, so we got a good battle on track right now between the 2 and the 30. Barker looking to try and keep that line on the inside, but Sandeep Singh with a good run on the outside lane, able to hold it for a little bit, but I think Bob Schwepke is going to be a spoiler here. They're going to do the same thing that they did with Rick Witt to Bob Schwepke, and they're going to split him, but Schwepke almost looked like he put Singh in the wall, or was about to, and then he kind of came down and almost screwed up Jay Barker's line, so Barker lost a little bit of time on the inside of that corner, and now Singh is going to hold the position. Barker does not look like he's done yet with Sandeep Singh so far. Battle for the lead is really kind of not materialized. Juan Garcia is within a second of the 66th of Proctor, but just has not been able to do anything with it. You see Jay Barker is still holding that tail end of the 30 car of Singh. This doesn't seem like Barker has much that he can do against the pace of that 30 machine. Alex Tanker has pulled that gap between him and Austin Jakes to about 2.5 seconds. Chris Malley has been able to get by Eric Monaco. That just recently occurred, using Bob Schwepke as a pick to get him around Eric Monaco for the 14th position. Meanwhile, back up to the battle that we were watching previously, Jay Barker in the 2 machine. Back to the inside of Sandeep Singh. As the Highline has started to take precedence over the rest of the racetrack. And Jay Barker easily able to dispatch the 30 car. Now the next car he's probably looking at right now is potentially getting by Alex Tanker, but he's also got to get by a couple of these lapped cars too. A bit of a squirrely entry there for Barker, but he's able to get things squared away fairly simply. And now he's looking ahead to the 85 of Alex Tanker. Jay Barker is still moving forward here, trying to collect another spot. Meanwhile, Sandeep Singh trying to dive to the inside. And the inside lane's starting to get a little bit faster again. Barker's just going to slot into the back of that 30 car as kind of a dive almost from the 30 machine. In the inside of the last corner is going to net him another spot, but it's going to be a battle between him and the 2 car for the foreseeable future. Matthew Proctor has lapped all the way up to the 20th position so far. So obviously that's kind of the pace that he's been running. He's been able to keep a pretty good pace set for the entirety of the race, but you can see Juan Garcia has kept that gap small, but I don't believe it's been small enough for him to really make a move on the 66 car. And now your leader drops down into pit lane about lap 47. That's kind of where we expected pit lane to start receiving drivers, and surprisingly, Matthew Proctor was the first one to come in. Potentially could have been an issue where being out in the lead for so long meant that he basically had messed up his tires. But you can also see Jacob Stavanoa. I think he was figuring, you know, whenever the leader comes in, I'm going to come in because this car is not working for me right now. And you can see Juan Garcia now dropping to the inside, and he will also come into the pits. Proctor is away. Juan Garcia is going to be unswayed by anything around him so far. And it'll all come down to whether or not who has the faster stop between these two and who might have made the right adjustments for the later stage of the race. And now you can see Juan Garcia pulling out of his pit stall. There is the 66 machine of Matthew Proctor. It'll be a close one, but it looks like Matthew Proctor probably has the lead coming out of the pits, but it could be Juan Garcia coming out of the pits now. Garcia may have had a much faster pit stop, and that could have potentially given him the lead, but it's going to be a battle here, as he's not completely up to speed yet, and now he's got to deal with the 51 of Kelly Lee, or Kyung-hee Lee, sorry. Trying to come down into the pits, potentially. But now you can see Matthew Proctor was a lot more up to speed. Could be that the tires are not too great, too. Oh, and the 40 car is slow up at the wall. And we make it a caution here. The 40 and the 30 car are both slow up at the wall. And they will most likely stop in the backstretch. Caution is out. And Stuart Gratton had the lead when the caution came out, but I don't know if he's going to be able to keep it, because I think he was slowing. He might have been out of fuel. And so drivers are being told to pass the 23 car as he slows down the front stretch. So the pace car has picked up Bob Schwepke, but Schwepke is a lap down. However, this could mean that he will get a wave around, as he's being let by the pace car. So Bob Schwepke will be waved around the pace car, it looks like. And the whole situation that happened with Stuart Gratton is kind of an interesting one. The lineup may have gotten all screwed up, so drivers are trying to figure out who is where. I think everyone's kind of starting to figure out where they're supposed to be. .888 also stopped on the racetrack, so a lot of drivers going a bit too far in their fuel, it looks like, and it does not seem to have fared well for a good bit of them. Just looking at the lineup here and how they're how each driver is lining up. And oh, there was another car stopped on the racetrack.
All right, man. Lights are back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
Track officials did not want to see something like that happening, so it just seems like a lot of cars are just randomly slowing on the racetrack. Sam Verbeek stopped on the racetrack. Looks like things have gotten back to normal. Looks like we've gotten everyone kind of back to where they're supposed to be. They're starting to line themselves up finally in a double file lineup here. Barker with some damage on that 2 car, so a lot of some chaos going on under caution here with 20 laps to go. Caution laps do not count, so that means that all of this running under caution is not good for your fuel saving, and it does change the strategy a good bit. Like drivers have decided for some reason not to come into pit road. Nicholas Samudio also stopped on the track.
All right, man. Lights are back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green. All right, man. Lights are back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
This is just nuts. What is happening at the moment. There's a good number of cars that are in the pacing line, but it just seems like that caution came out at a terrible time, and some drivers just chose not to come out of not to pit for some reason. Idiot. So lights are out on the pace car, and hopefully we don't have any more disruptions here. This whole caution period has just been absolutely insane. Once the pace car pulls off, I'm going to have to clear all the penalties. And an interesting jump from Juan Garcia.
Green flag.
And for some reason, the leader was picked up as Jay Barker. So Barker, Malley, and Latoris are all going to need to be black flagged, as Juan Garcia should be considered your leader, even though he basically jumped the start. So, crazy caution period aside, normally that would be kind of the thing that I would cut out of the race. Now we have a relatively similar race to how it probably would be. For whatever reason, Matthew Proctor has had to come down into the pits. Something could be wrong with that car. Unsure as to why the 66 has come on the pit road. Looks like a quick stop and go. I don't know what the reason was. So it looks like your pole sitter and the driver who had led most of the laps up to that point is no longer going to be in contention. Now you have a battle between Juan Garcia and Arian Azad with Ryan Reed not far behind him. Like Juan Garcia is going to have a good run off the corner there, and he's going to be able to keep the lead. You see Ryan Reed driving up on that top side. Absolutely no clue what's going on anymore. Alex Tanker has been sitting in the pits for a good long while, and now he's 7 laps down, so I think he might be done for the day. Unsure as to why. However, Arian Azad has taken the lead, but Ryan Reed is looking to try and spoil that one. Reed in the 99 looking to the inside of the 03 of Arian Azad. And now he looks like he's going to take the lead. Closing in on 10 to go. And Kelly Lee's going to be a spoiler there. Good use of a lapped car by the 99 of Ryan Reed. Turn low. Hello, Charles. Good battle for the lead between the 99 and the 03, but it doesn't look like the 03 has enough to take the 99 to task. And Ryan Reed looks like he's probably going to take the win here if he can start pulling away from Arian Azad. Juan Garcia is pretty much falling off the back end of these two guys. And Stavinoa is completely off the pace compared to these two. I believe Cesar Chavez was a lap down at one point. But again, that caution period kind of changed the whole outlook at this race. And Ryan Reed currently holds the lead. Juan Garcia is starting to lose. Actually, he looks like he's starting to gain back some time on the drivers ahead of him. He started to... I believe his car is kind of set up sort of mid-run, mid to long run type of car. And so he's kind of figured some things out, and it looks like he's starting to move back towards these two in front of him. Now Ryan Reed slowly started to lose some ground, trying to pin the 0-3 down a little bit. Battle for the lead here between Ryan Reed and Arian Azad. Looks like Azad is going to clear the 99 of Ryan Reed, but Ryan Reed looks like he was trying to maybe cut back to the inside a little bit. Azad in the 03, Ryan Reed in the 99. Juan Garcia about a second and a half off the leader. Now looking at it, Ryan Reed trying to take it back to the inside here. Can't stop these two from battling each other, and it seems like both of them are really taking things seriously as we head towards the end of this one. 5 to go this time by. Reed still to the inside of Azad, but does not get the run that he needs down the backstretch. So if you're Ryan Reed, you gotta think, are you gonna catch those lapped cars in time? You gotta time things perfectly for when the 03 is right on the tail end of those lap cars, and then you can try to make a move if you can stay on him there. It looks like they're going to catch these lap cars ahead. You see Tanya Breyer in that 13. Might be a little bit of a tricky situation here as Ryan Reed sliding it around the outside, it looks like. But Tanya Breyer slides up the racetrack, and that's going to slow him down a little bit. So Aaron Azad kind of using Breyer as a pick, but not able to get a whole lot out of it, as things kind of remain the same as what they were. And now Gatlin Downey is going to be between the 99 and the 03. Heading down the back stretch. 3 laps remain. Arian Azad all the way to the bottom. And oh, he has to come into pit. The 03 of Azad comes into pit. 2 laps remain. And a heartbreak for Arian Azad as Juan Garcia also comes down. And I think that extended caution period might have hurt some of those guys who thought that they might have had enough coming in. Now we're going to see. This has basically come down to a fuel stop race, and it was not meant to be. And it looks like Ryan Reed is also coming in. Brandon Bent looks like he's also down on the bottom. Daniel Voiles, however, is not on the bottom of the racetrack here. And the 4 teams have all had to come into pit, but Daniel Voiles has the lead, and there is no one close to him. Can Daniel Voiles hold out to the end, or will he run out of fuel coming to the line? Eric Monaco. Down the back stretch for Daniel Voiles. And it looks like he's going to have enough to get things done. Daniel Voiles in the number 26 Toyota comes across the line here at the Auto Club Speedway, and he will take the win. Second goes to Eric Monaco. Third goes to Austin Jakes. And from how this race started to that caution period to how it ended, the only Ford that ended up in the top 10 was Proctor and Grattan. That is quite the result. But Daniel Voiles taking the victory here at the Auto Club Speedway. What an absolutely insane finish to this one. So we'll finish things up here, and we will take you to the results page as everything has finished up here. And this is how your race is going to play out. Daniel Voiles leading only 2 laps in the entire thing. Takes the victory on fuel mileage. Eric Monaco finishes second. Austin Jakes third. Sandeep Singh fourth. Greg Shivers fifth. Bratton sixth. Kyung-hee Lee seventh. Carlson eighth. Ninth is Matthew Proctor, who led basically the entire race. And 10th is Cesar Chavez. 11th, Ryan Reed, after having to come into pit late. Juan Garcia, Stavanoa, Brandon Bent, Arian Azad, Sam Verbeek, Zach Staines, and Isaac Nichols rounds out your top half of the field. Trace Howard, Chris Malley, Jay Barker, Andrea Martinez, Mitchell Henderson, Emma Bays, Mikhail Latoris, that's 25th. 26th is Allison Rhodes, 27th Cody Gump, 28th Ricky Dixon, 29th Rick Witt, 30th is Gatlin Downey, 31st Tanya Bray, 32nd Kelly Lee, 33rd Bob Schwepka, 34th Jake Rogers, 35th Nicholas Samudio, and surprisingly 36th is Alex Tanker. He was running a pretty good race up until that caution period kind of screwed him over. Now after that wackiness, let's see who has taken the points lead. It is Daniel Voiles with 2 wins, 2 drivers with 2 wins, Trace Howard and Daniel Voiles. And then with no wins, but a pretty good repertoire of top 10s is Cesar Chavez, not too far behind. Bob Schwepka, Isaac Nichols, Ryan Reed, Greg Shivers, Eric Monaco, Andre Martinez, and Austin Jakes finish out the top 10 in points. Here is your top 20 in points. And I'm just going to leave this up here for a few seconds. You can pause the video if you're on the VOD, if you would like. And then here is the rest of the field. I believe Alex Tanker has not gotten past Ernest Crispin yet, as he's the one that took over that car. Jay Barker still is down in the dumps in the boonies in the 35th position. So it'll be an interesting season for the rest of the way, as we finish up here. That is going to do it here for the ASCA iRacing series. Quite insane finish. Quite insane last 20 laps. That was I was not expecting that, but the next race will be Laguna Seca. We go from Auto Club to Laguna Seca, and then we head back to the finishing, and then we head back towards the east side of the U.S. to finish out the rest of the season. Yes, we don't get to visit California anymore, I'm sorry. But that'll do it here. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching on the VOD, and thank you to Chavez for being in the stream, you know, because he's great. Okay, see you later.